Hello, stampers and crafters. It's Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And today is Wednesday, which means it's Hump Day Sketches. So this week, I decided that I wanted to do something a little different. So thanks to the paper players, we are playing a game of tic-tac-toe. This is normally how you play it. I put something in a spot, you put something in a spot, I put something in a spot, you put something in a spot, and it's whoever gets either 3 across, 3 down, or 3 diagonally that wins. But this is so much fun because it is all about creating cards. And so today I am going to show you my creating cards, and I'm trying to be really quick, and I will have everything posted underneath so you can figure out everything that you need. So anyway, let's get started. My first one I chose was any shade of yellow, die cut, and flowers. So I'm going to come back to this sheet quite a bit, but I wanted to share with you my card, if I can find my card. Oh my goodness. This is all the stuff that I need to create my card. And I thought, oh, yay! I found it. Silly, silly, silly me. So this is my card. And it has all the different yellows. I am using, so I'll bring this back out. I am using on the bottom. This is the thick basic white. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that's what our scoring is. So this is called our base card. All right, next thing that I have is that I have a piece of the basic white, and it's from the 3rd die of Scalloped Contours dies. So I always do everything from the outside in. So it is this one right here. So it's really small, but yet it just has a little bit of an impact, and I can pop it up, so gives it just a little more dimension. Then we have 2 different pieces of the Gingham Cottage, which is DSP, and it is 4. This first one is 4 by 2.5, and it's going to go on the bottom. And then the next one is 3/4 inch by 5.5. which is going to go inside. So I didn't want to put anything on the outside because I really wanted to just get everything to focus just on the beautiful flowers. We have these. Oh, and let me show you. I got a couple of things I need to go back to. One, as you guys have seen many times, this is Hues of Happiness. And you can use the die cuts on these flowers, and they come out so beautiful. These 2 and this big one on the inside were all made by the die cuts. This one, because I wanted to get in crushed curry, I just stamped it in Memento, and then I just die cut it out. So that's what that looks like. Lots of different colors, as you guys can see. Oh my goodness. I am coming to the end, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to buy more. But that is what the Hues of Happiness is. Then this is Gingham Cottage, and it is just all about all the gingham, and I'm hoping that it is current because I think we got it during the last mini catalog. And I love this stuff. I love all the papers. I love having the really small checkered or gingham. I like having the medium size, a little bit bigger, and then the huge. I really like that. I think that it just is such a great add. Over here, as you can see, all of these are just the scraps from our die cutting. And then the last is our scrap of vellum. Now, I learned a while ago that you can use adhesive on your vellum as long as you use the adhesive sheets. Now, there's a difference between the masking sheets versus the adhesive sheets. The masking you cover up, and then you can stamp or remove that, and you can either, put the masking around the outside and then show your card. You can put the masking around words. So instead of having happy birthday, you can just write the word happy, and you can do whatever you want. But these are like the sheets that it comes in. I think there's 6 to 8 of these sheets. On the back side, there's an opening, and the sticky side is on the white. So these are great just to put. This is going to be something that I'm going to punch, and you guys are going to see how the adhesive sheet works in the adhering it. And as you can see, I ended up, because it was so small, I just did it on a really small piece. Most of the time you want something to go across. So then when you undo these, then you can just go ahead and layer them really quick. All right. So trying to teach you guys some new things that you haven't had before. We are also going to use our glossy dies, and that's going to give us our little dots. We have our Balmy blue, our Memento, and our Stazon. Whenever you are stamping in vellum, and vellum is very slick, you want something that's just going to stay. And this is one that, because it is a solvent ink, it stays. I find that you have to let Stazon sit for just a little bit. I always use a heating tool to heat it so it dries. So then when I go to rub it, it does not have any smears that happens on this. So this is really, Stazon is great to use. Trying to get you guys everything out. Here is the mini blending brushes. They're so pretty, and I love how soft they are at the top. And that's going to just give a little bit of blue to the water so it shows. My pick tool, it's going to help me pick off. And so you guys know, this pick a tool, this one comes in 2 different. So if you want to have a pokey side, for me, I really want to have a flat side. This is also great when you want to, clean out the little grooves on your scoring or on your cutting. What's it called? Your cutting tool. I'll think about it, but it's what you cut all your paper with. And then at the very end, it has the glue so you can glue in the dots. So I will use that today. Let me see, we have our jar, and I might as well just go ahead and punch the jar. And as you can see, we have a little mechanism at the bottom that holds this in place. When you release it, then it opens. I always make sure that I can see what I am going to cut or punch. And I kind of hold on to it a little bit. I don't press all the way through because I want to make sure that it is exactly where I want it to be when I give it a squeeze. All right, and that's about it. All right, and as you can see, I have the adhesive on the back. All right, so I will have to cut around to get rid of that. Otherwise, if I take that this adhesive off, then it will be sticky. And again, close it, and then you have a seal. Again, I am just using the Happy Birthday from the Happiness Abounds. And this is just the bar or the jar of flowers. And I just used, let's see if I can get a white. I don't think white works very well. But here we go. I just used this jar so I could, I use Stazon with it. So then I could put it on vellum and then punch it out. And if you also wanted to use something just a little bit smaller, or you could also do this one in blue. Down here, you also have that. Okay, a whole bunch of different little flowers to fit in. Like that set, haven't used it a lot. One thing that I do suggest is that whenever you're using with any type of Stazon, I would always have the Stazon remover and cleaner. This is the best stuff in the whole wide world. Last but not least, this isn't one of the little spritzers, but it's one that I just created right before. This has alcohol in it with some Stella, and I will spray it in the end. And I think that's everything that I need before I get started. So let's go ahead and start putting this card together. Yay! All right. So I'm going to bring in my silicone pad. And I always forget to write that down, but I love my silicone pad. And I am just putting down the gingham. Going to give it a nice little border at the bottom and on the side. There we go. There's our border. And then I am bringing in our basic white. This is important that you have a thick piece of white for your card base. It seems like it just it just holds it together stronger. This piece doesn't have to be the thick. It can just be the regular basic white. All right. So now, as you guys can see, we are going to bring in a little bit of coloring. Yay, I love to color. And this is just going to be a little bit of blue at the bottom. So again, it looks like there's a little bit of water in there, and I want to make sure that you can tell the difference, especially if you have stems. So I'm just going to take this, wipe a little bit on the side, and I don't want too much. I just want a little. And I don't think you can see very well with white from the adhesive in the back. So I'm just going to remove those out of the way. Put that down. I'll have to use that again. And we're just going to bring this in. And when I did this, I really got it close to the bottom, so then my flowers could be all over the top. And they're just kind of coming out everywhere. And I'll show you how I did that. So now I do not have a piece in here that will help me. So now we just have to find a way to, I'll get this out of the way, lift up the bottom. And I may have to get the pokey tool. The last time I did it, it was one that came right in the middle. And so I was able to bend it. I'm going to try the pokey tool. And so I was able to just lift it right out. And again, it's so much fun when we're dealing with. And this is sticky on this part, and this is not. And when I turn it over, you can't see any of the lines for the adhesive. That's one of the reasons that I absolutely love this. Looking to make sure that it's even on both sides, giving it a little bit of space at the bottom, and then I'm just going to adhere it down. And you can see the tint of blue at the bottom for the flowers. So now we are going to put our flowers together. All right, so I did it last time. This is crushed curry. Let me make sure this is a better one. Made a mistake on the first one. This is Daffodil Delight. And this one is, I think it's summer. Let me grab the back. If you guys ever forget, all you got to do is look on the back and it tells you everything you need. So it's Mango Melody, but it looks to me like it is a yellow, so I'm just going to say it's a yellow today. All right. So what we're going to do is that I'm just going to start, and I'm just going to put my little bit of glue on this, and then I'm just going to adhere that. Put just a little bit of glue at the bottom, and I am going to adhere this. So that is going to be the start. Oops. And I like this glue because then I can wiggle it around a little bit so I can make sure that I get it right exactly where I want it. All right. And I want to cover up that yellow. All right, bringing this in. It's going to look nice. I'm going to turn this over, and then I am just going to start adding some leaves on the back. And as you guys all know, this, I like popping this around. This takes a few minutes to get the ink to stay. So when you glue it down, you want to make sure that you hold it for a minute. Okay. There we go. Put it on the wrong way. And again, all I'm doing is making a mess, but just gluing things down so then we can, this one I want to see. Where I want it to be. A lot of times when you're dealing with liquid glue, is that when it turns clear, it becomes sticky, and that's when you want to be able to put it down. I think I'm going to go right over here at the side. It looks very nice. A little bit of a hole up there, but I like it. So now, all I'm going to do is let this set for just a minute. Kind of wipe off. If I have my baby wipes, I can do that. I'm going to bring in my favorite, foam adhesives. And again, they are just larger. I love putting these on. I use less dimensionals. So much fun. It's easy, it's quick, and all I'm doing is just peeling them off, putting them in all four corners. And I may have to just put some type of a little one right in the middle. All right, and then what I want to do is make sure that when I put or eyeball this down, I want to make sure that I have as much room at the top as I do on the bottom, and the same for the sides. So when I am looking at this, it almost feels like you're going to pull on both and opposite ends, but it won't allow you to stick the project down, but you get a good chance to see if you're even or not. And I just do everything eyeballing. So now, these are still a little bit sticky, but we are going to add adhesive on these. And just let them be down, give them a little bit of dimension. And I want just a small little one up here for the top. And if I need to, this one is, I'll use that on my next project. I need a little bit smaller. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this, and all I am going to do is cut it down to size, and then I'm just going to stick it right up here in the corner. All right. And the glue, liquid glue holds so well. I love it. And again, I'm trying to get this going because we have 2 more cards to make, and I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to see all of them. There we go. That's beautiful. There's a little bit of glue up in the corner, and in one of my, there we go, I have an adhesive eraser, and all I'm going to do is try to take it away so then it isn't so sticky, but I'll do a little bit more of that after we're done with the project. So from here, I will clean up my mess. I'll bring in my glossy dots. And again, I'm just doing the yellow. Come on, baby. I may need my tweezers. Nope. I'll just turn this over. There we go. I am going to put, maybe I'm going to switch corners. Looks like this leaf is getting in the way, so I want to make sure. Let's see, can I get this down? There we go. There we go. All right, so we are just about done with this. And I forgot the inside. And I usually don't. I like to stamp before I put everything down, but hey, I'm going to give it just a, I'm going to take a risk today, guys. I'm going to take a risk. Thank you for joining me while I take a risk. So we are going to get out our Memento, get out our happy birthday, because it is a photo palmer I want to make sure, and this one hangs out just a little bit, so I just want to get this little cut in the back. Boy, I got stuff all over the place. So I'm going to open my Memento. Give this a nice little tap. It looks good. Take it towards the side. Stamp straight down. Come straight up. Woohoo! I did it. I get so excited when I do that because I don't do that often. So here, we're just going to take this flower, put it at the bottom. And I think we have a beautiful card. One last thing we need to do, and I want to make sure that I just give it another crease, is we want to spray it. So with our spray, we're bringing back our scrap piece of paper. And this is scrap paper for the Stampin' Majig. And we are going to shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Okay. And give it some sprays. And I am a sparkle girl, and I love the sparkles. I don't know if you can see it. You can see more sparkle as it dries. And I don't know how much you can see here about the sparkles, but it's the same thing. So we have some sparkles on all the flowers and on the card itself. So this is our first card for the Tic-Tac-Toe. All right, again, just a reminder, it's shades of yellow, die cut, and flowers. All right, so one down, two more to go. The next one, I am doing any shade of pink, sequins, and ribbon. So this is what I came up this time. Decided I wanted to do something a little different. So I made a faux shaker card. And I just put a different shade on the inside. So I just thought this could be just really fun to do. We haven't done this, and I haven't done this with you before, so I wanted to do so. So again, we are going to bring out our thick basic white, measuring 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 1 1/4. And let's give it a nice little crease. Then we have clear envelopes. And the clear envelopes, isn't that always true? What did I do with my, yay! The clear envelopes are on, and this is where you can get the adhesive sheets, is on page 156, and it's number 10. So that's where you can get that. But the envelopes are on page 137, and this is in the annual catalog, and it's these clear ones. You can hardly even see it. When I do swaps, I put all of my cards in these clear envelopes because it just looks nice, and it keeps, it just keeps a nice care of your cards, and they look really presentable. So if you wanted to be able to present that, you have that. All right. And this one is adhered, so it's something that I have used before, but most of the time, all you do is take off the top and adhere it down. Now, this is what I keep all my little envelopes in. This is one of my sheets that I have, and this is how they usually come. All right, adhesive at the top, so then when you get it down, you just rip off the adhesive, and then it just secures everything. All right, and again, I keep all my plastic in a box, so I know where it is. Next thing, we have our polished pink. And polished pink was embossed with pretty flowers. And you can see that this is the embossed, and this is the debossed, because it goes down. All right, and that's what is going to be our focal point. Then we have on the inside, we just have basic white, and it is 3 3/4 by 5. And then both of these measure the same. And it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And this is Blushing Bride, and this is the polished pink. And then I did a scrap piece of paper. And this is Mellow Mamba. And I use the Tailor tags. And it is the second one from the biggest. And then I Versamarked. Okay, this is Versamark, our watermark. Okay, and then I used white embossing powder on the top. And that saying came from Flowering Tulips. No one deserves a birthday. No one deserves a happier birthday than you. So again, kind of looking on the same, let's try to figure out exactly how do I want to, do different types of birthday cards. We're also using our pink Petal, and this is our soft polyester ribbon. So fabulous in the mini catalog. We are also using the following, which are the Effervescent elements. Get this right, the Sparkle and Shine, Sequins, and our Loose Daisy embellishment. And that's going to make up all this stuff that's on the inside. So then you can just shake it when you get it. Okay? So I think that is just about everything. I am using also my embossing, and this is what I put. I tipped this over top, and I had the white embossing powder in it. And then to put it back inside, I just took off the bottom and I poured it back in. I'm going to use this time for our holding all our little embossing, or holding our little sequins. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do the easiest thing first. Oops. Which is put the inside together. And again, where is my? If this does not roll very well, you just get out your silicone pad and you start rolling right away. And yes, sometimes when you're a little bit aggressive, this is exactly what happens. It tears the bottom. I'll show you how I deal with that. And you want to really make sure that you keep this bottom part almost so it's like touching the surface that you are rolling it towards to adhere. I just use some liquid glue and I just put, a little dab all the way down. And that seems to hold it in place. You got to have some tricks sometimes when things don't go the way you want it to go. And I am losing all of it. All right. So again, here, and I'm going to put some on the outside. There we go. Woo! Here we go. I'm tearing my paper to make sure that it's the same all over the place. I didn't write anything on the inside because I just think it's up to everybody to make decisions on whether they want to have a sentiment or whether they want to write a great big long letters. I have some really dear friends that, hold on a minute, this is not coming out to where it's supposed to be. Sorry, I'm cutting it again. I didn't cut it down. There we go. And then it got caught in the cutting tool. Wow. And now it's dirty, but I'll take my eraser to it. See if I can get some of those spots out. I did not know that this was dirty. So I just take baby wipes and clean off all my tools. All right. We're going to get that out of the way. We're going to bring in our clear envelope. And I am also bringing in Scotch tape. I love Scotch tape because it just gives you a nice seal on your, whenever you're gluing things down. You could use tear and tape, which I will use, but I really want to, I might as well go this way. I really wanted to make sure that this is down in all the corners. So I'm going to do whatever I can to scoot it down in all the corners. And then I am going to take it and roll it over. I'm going to take my bone folder and give it a crease. I hope you guys can see everything. This is pretty messy right now. Then I'm going to just take a couple of pieces of Scotch tape and just put them down on the side so it just kind of holds them down, as you can see right here. And then I'm just going to take a bigger piece and secure it all the way. All right. And I'm going to just take a little piece up here at the top. There we go. So this is down. From here now I have a little pocket, and I am going to put all my sequins in it. Now these are like balls, and they come in different sizes. And so I took a few of the bigger balls and put them back in here because I realized that on the first one, boy, they're pretty big, that you will need to have something when you mail this. So most of the time, I use something that has a little bit of bubble in it, because most of the time, and when you mail it, you want to make sure that this side, okay, here's my envelope. You want to make sure that this side is to the back. All right, with this on top, because then it gives a clear surface for writing. And then when the mail people feel it, they don't feel as many bumps as not having any bumps at all. And then you get great big holes. The balls can pop out. You can have a real mess. So that's how you mail shaker cards. I want to put just a few of the loose daisies in. Some yellow and some white. I love them. And then I want to go ahead and add some of the sparkles and shines. There you go. So that should be enough. All right. Sorry for my hands being in the way. I want to make sure that I get this out of the way. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work this so it comes towards the bottom. So when we open it, it's going to open, and we're just going to put it right in the middle And this is what's going to take a little. And you want to make sure, oops, you want to make sure that it's on the top side. All right. So here we go. Now that I have it down, I might as well take the top part off, or the little top off, and I have little balls rolling all around. So I'll put them in first. And again, I just want to put this in here. And it's really easy to make sure that we got it all in there. I got a few stragglers that I'm going to hold out. All right, I have one more sitting up here. And these little things, they get all over the place. Come on, baby. All right. And then we're going to crease that down. Again, fold it, give it a good little fold. And then we're going to make sure that this top part, okay, is down. And then we're going to seal it. And then this is where I bring in another piece of Scotch tape and just put it down. So now we have our faux shaker. Don't you just love this? I just love how sweet it looks. All the different types of flowers and movement. Love that. All right, so from here, we're going to bring in our tear and tape. And we're going to put one towards the outside. I usually put about 3 on. And another one. And our last one. There we go. So we got that. And now we're just going to give this a nice little rub, because then it comes off a lot easier. We're going to use our flat side. It's almost like a pancake turner. Just get right underneath it, pull it apart. And this is just like the adhesive sheets. It just comes off. So you have the sticky on the bottom, and then you have the cover on the top. So if you think of an adhesive sheet, just like your tear and tape, you got it made. All right. And there we go. So from here, we are going to bring in our base. Put this on our base. Oh, a little crooked. I'm just going to let it be. It's a photo type. We have done all this. I'm going to turn it to the side. Bring back in our foam adhesive. And I'm just going to put 3 across. Guess that little guy wanted to make sure that they were involved in the fun. Thank you very much for volunteering. All right. We're going to put it at an angle. So we have all our different pinks. I love this. And then I tied a bow earlier. Here's my bow that I tied. And sometimes to just get it to lay right, you just kind of play with it just a little bit. And then I need to get my glue dot. My glue dot. Where are you, baby? I have so much stuff on my table from creating 3 cards that, oh my goodness. All right, so I am going to add 2 glue dots. I am going to put 1 on the left side. And then I'm going to put 1. So here's 1. I don't know if you can see that very well. And then I'm going to put 1 on the other. And then I'm just going to glue this down. And there we go. we have our lots of shades of pink, our sequins, and our ribbon. So that is our shaker card for today. Woohoo! We have one more left to do. And this one's going to take a little bit of time. And let me see if I can find out where my baby is right now. This is going to be a technique card. And I don't know where there it is. This is the card that we are doing. So it is called a resist emboss. So that is it. It just has a nice little opening. This one opened on the side. I didn't realize that until I was already done. So this one's we're just going to turn it. Okay, landscape, and put it together that way. All right, so starting out, we're going to need our thick basic white. All right, again, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. You guys know the drill by now. All right, then we have a piece of, this is from the Subtle 6x6 Designer Series paper. It's 4 by 5 1/4, and it is balmy blue. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you. What are we doing? We are doing dry or wet embossing, any shade of blue, and polka dots. That's where I was trying to get to. I'm so sorry. So that's going to be our third one. Is that. So our polka dots are considered part of the DSP. And I know that I had the DSP, but right now, oh, here it is. So it comes like this. There's Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Calypso Coral, Highland Heather, Mint Macaron, Pear Pizzazz, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Sea Foam, soft sea foam, I should say, and so saffron. All right, so that's what is in here. Lots of different colors. I love it. Lots of polka dots, lots of different type of designs. So this is a great package to have. All right. And while we're just doing that, I'm just going to adhere this down. And here's stripes on the other side. I love that. This is getting ready to run out of tape too. So, yay, I did it with that. Okay, and again, 5 1/4 by. Oh, God. I am not doing a very good job of that. I'm just going to leave it. Then we have a piece of 4.5 by 3.5, and it is what all our embossing is going to come from. And then last but not least, we have Happy Birthday. And let me show you. I am using the fern from the Two-Tone Flora. I am using Happy Birthday from Something Fancy. And is it from the die too? I think that, yes. And the die's in here too. So I am using the die. And then I'm using the bigger flower from the Desert Details. And I'm using both of these. And we are going to be working with some Versamark today. All right. So I'm going to get everything ready to start our Emboss Resist. So I have this. I am using I am using on this some Starry Sky, some Orchid Oasis, and again, some Tahitian Tide. Let's get that right. All right, so I'm just going to open all these. So you can see them all. There we go. All right. I do my blending brushes again. I just had turquoise because I felt that we had a couple of turquoise colors that I used. And so I just went with the turquoise color, and I added that so I didn't have a mixing of all the different blues. And then on the other one, I just have a blue, and I used on both of the other darker colors. All right, so I'm going to get all this stuff out of here. All right, so we are moving right along, almost an hour. Oh my God. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is that we're just going to add a little bit of color so we can see where we're stamping. So I'm just going to come out, rub it off, and then I'm going to do different parts of the cardstock. I will come back and add a few darker colors. All right, so this just is kind of highlighting so we can see. I'm going to start then with the Orchid Oasis, and these have been mixed before, so you're going to be able to see that the colors may not look all alike, but that's exactly what's happening. And then I'm going to add my Starry Skies and try to get it in places where we have stuff all over the place, and it looks like clouds, beautiful clouds. But this gives us an idea of where we can stamp and where you can see, because you're not going to be able to see right away. And I got this. I'm getting everything ready. All right, so we're going to bring in our big stamp right now from the Desert Details. We're just going to stamp it off. We're going to put one in the corner, and all I'm going to do is 3. And I'll try to show you what it looks like after I'm done, but you're not going to be able to see. And I want it going in different directions. I don't know if you can see the shadow up here, but I did one here, one up here, and one over here on the side. So now our next one then are going to be the smaller flowers. So I'm going to have to take a look to make sure that I do a flower over here and a flower right here. And do we have something in the center? Let's do this one right in the center. There we go. So then there's 3 of those. And again, flower over here, another flower. Here's one in the middle, here, and over here at the side. So we are now going to add our ferns, because again, we're dealing with photopolymer. We want to give it a little bit of cushion as we stamp. So again, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to see where I can find that. Now, if these cross over, it's okay that they do so. All right, so I'm going to head off over here to the side. And then I want one right over here. And there's one in this corner that I want to do. And I think I'm just going to stick it here. So then I did 3 of these. All right. So now that gives us just a chance to see, when we add our clear embossing, how this is going to look. All right, again, our embossing tool, we're going to put clear in here, and then you're going to be able to see where everything is. Can you see it right now? And the other thing is I have and if you wanted to add more, you could add more. I also have a paintbrush, and I have a little bit of some shadows around, and so I just want to make sure that I wipe some of those off so you get a clean stamp or a clean emboss. Get off some of the extra. All right. Well, let's see where this takes us. So then we're going to take this, put it down at the bottom, and then right here, I'm going to turn it away from the stamps that I have opened, and we're just going to pour it back in. And a brush came with this, and I forgot to grab it. And I would use that because it's a lot wider than this brush is. And if I didn't have my stamp pads open, I would do this just a little bit differently. All right, here we go. So I'll take that out. Take this, put this away so then I don't melt all over the place. Wipe as much as I can off of this. Bring in my clipboard that has aluminum foil, so when it heats, it bounces off the heat and heats it up just a little bit faster. This is my heating tool. Sorry, it's going to be loud. And I wait for it to warm up just a little bit. And then all I do is kind of follow. I'll show you when it starts to turn. You can see that the embossing powder starts to melt. And there's a beautiful little shine to it. And I'll show you that shine in just a minute. You can also see the shine or the color coming through the stamp that you did too. And you always want to touch your embossed image afterwards to feel if there's a little bit of chalkiness to it. And if there's some chalkiness, then that means that it is not melted all the way, so it's best for you to go ahead and reheat. You kind of want to just let it be, you know, almost like you're ironing. You don't want to stay in one place too long. And then you just go back to see if you missed any spot. And mine looks pretty good. And let me show you. I don't know if you can see the sparkle now. Can you see the sparkle? There you go. There's some. And all I do is just kind of tap it. And that just lets me know. And nothing's coming off and it does not feel chalky. So that's how I do heat embossing. And I'm going to bring my sheet back in. And from here, I'm going to go back with my Tahitian Tide. And it's going to be darker that I'm going to use the Tahitian Tide just to kind of give it a little bit of color. From here, I'm going to do Oasis. I love those two colors together. They're just so beautiful. So we got the Oasis, and then the blue, I'm going to just rub it right in the center. And this is the Resist. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? So the clear emboss is resisting this. So now I'm going to go ahead and put away all my stamp pads. And again, my stamp pads were Starry Skies, Orchid Oasis, and Tahitian Tide. So I'm going to take those. I am now going to drop my ink. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take a Kleenex, and you can take any type of a wipe, a paper towel or so, and we're just going to wipe the ink off the top of the stamp. And that gives us the resist. Can you see it turn a white? That's what you really want. And some of it is not going to turn as white because there's ink underneath it. And this is why you want to make sure that you got all the clear embossing. You got all the clear embossing melted. So then when you go to rub on it, it's going to be okay. I'm just going to turn this over, and I am going to bring in a couple of other stamps. One is from Peaceful Moments, and it is going to be, these are the moments we'll look back on with joy. And I'm taking my Tahitian Tide, and I'm just giving it a little bit of color. And I'm bringing in my little flower and adding Orchid Oasis because I love a great periwinkle. Love a great periwinkle. And this is my periwinkle that I can just stick in the corner. And I love roses. Love roses. All right, so this is what our inside looks like. So now we are just going to put it together. I have this ribbon maker that I use, and especially on these smaller, little cute, little almost like we are at Mardi Gras, okay? And that's what I used. I wrapped it around twice, then I tied it in the middle, and then I cut it. And with these, all I'm going to do is I put a little mark in here so then I can hold on to, I can cinch it inside. So I'm just going to take these and get them all at about the same length. Oh, excuse me, let me do this one more time. I sealed this down before I needed to. Doggone you, Kevon. All right, so we're going to make this just a little bit different than the first one. We're going to find the middle. I want to make sure that they are 3. So you can see all 3 of these. And I will work on that in just a minute. All right, and then I'm just going to bend them over. Come on, baby. I want them separated enough that I can put a piece of Scotch tape down. And that's going to keep that in place. And then I'm going to come to the other side. Get my scissors. Cut that. And put this down. Oh, keep on. Always having to do some type. This is probably really good so you guys can see that we can mess up well too. Oh my God. But how do we fix it? That's always the best part. And I am trying to take this all the way off almost. There we go. And let's see if I can lay the tape over top of this one now. Yeah! All right, let's look at what happened. Oh, it's a little bit spacier. I'm okay with that. So now we are going to, I am just going to add liquid glue. We are going to take some liquid glue and go all around the edges. Again, as lightly as you can. Over top of the tape. We are then going to pull it. Make sure we're going to have to hold it down for a minute because we got lots of weight on this. I am going to turn it over and just give it a good rub. There we go. Then the happy birthday. I know that I had a happy birthday. Oh my goodness, where's my happy birthday? Don't tell me I cut another one because I thought maybe I just might drop that. And you know what? Shoot, I did. All right. So then, let me grab my other piece. And this one was done with the Starry Skies. And my happy birthday. Doesn't look as nice on this side, but it's okay. All right, we'll just take this side. I'm going to do that side anyway. Now that I have made my decision, which side am I going to do it on? Let me see if I threw that other one over here someplace. Okay. All right, well, we'll just go ahead and do that. All right, and from this, all I did is that I used some longer pieces of my foam adhesive to put these on. I really like the way that that looked, but it needed to be, it was crooked. So I take the other one over this one. There we go. Take this, and when I put this on, I wanted to make sure that this stayed down. So I put it across, tried to get it as much in the middle as possible. There we go. And then I took this little bow and I am going to add my glue dot to it. And I'm just sticking it right below. There you go. Can't believe I did that too early. Anyway, there we go. We got it done. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shut the front door. Here we go. I forgot that I also gave that just a little bit of a sparkle too. So again, we got to shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Yeah, we do. And we are going to add a little bit of glitter. Maybe more than we need, but it has a little bit of a shine to it. I love that. I love sparkle things. I love the way that it makes me feel. So happy. And here we go with this. You can see the shiny part. So that's what we have. This needs to dry, but because it is alcohol, it will take less time to dry. So you guys, oh my God, this is like my longest video ever. I did not mean for it to be this long. But anyway, this is Kevon from KTStamps.com, creating cards for you. And I thank you so much for stopping by today. And I hope you guys will kiss my cards. And when you do, please post them on my Facebook. I love to have you do so. Next week, we will be doing a sketch. So again, I'm really excited just to spend this time with you. So take care, everybody. Thanks again. Bye-bye.